Christos anesti, Christ is risen. I got a lot of nice comments about my last video, so here I am again. Feel free to leave questions in the comments or let me know what things you'd like to learn about. Today I want to talk about something that people are not asking about. No one is asking why the chanters have one on each side as we're doing the services. It's because of the virus, right? Well, that's why we started doing it. You haven't seen us do this at St. George before, but it's actually a very traditional arrangement in the Orthodox Church. Many churches have a chant stand on both sides, and there can be a whole choir of chanters on each side. There are even established rubrics on which side does what. We're just getting used to it, so you might see us do a little bit of pointing as we're figuring it out. Some of the music in our services is antiphonal music. That means it's supposed to be sung responsively between two choirs of chanters. One example is near the beginning of liturgy. Every week you hear the choir sing, Tes presviestis Theotokos soter sos onimas. There's a short verse that's chanted, and then the choir sings it in English. Through the intercessions of the Theotokos, Savior, save us. There's another verse, and the choir sings it again. Sometimes it's even done a fourth time. We do that a little bit later also with Sos onimas ie Theou. We do the same kind of thing with the verses and repeating it. These are examples of antiphons, and they're traditionally done back and forth between two groups of chanters on opposite sides of the solea, like we're doing them now. So while our present circumstances with this virus have required a lot of innovation, things like live streaming services and Zoom meetings for Bible studies, this is one instance where we solved a challenge by going back to our roots. Of course, we could just have one chanter, but we're very happy to have the opportunity to have two, especially for some of the longer services like the 12 Gospels on Holy Thursday. But even on a normal Sunday with matins and liturgy, it's a great help to have chanters on both sides. So on to what's happening this Sunday. Remember, before Pascha, we had a progression of Sundays with different themes. We had the Sunday of the Prodigal Son, the Sunday of Orthodoxy, the Sunday of the Cross, just to name a few examples. These themes were reflected in the readings as well as the hymnology, and they're the same every year with the purpose of leading us up towards Pascha. After Pascha, we have a different set. Last week was Sunday of St. Thomas. This Sunday is the Sunday of the Myrrhbearers. So who are the Myrrhbearers? They're the women who went to the tomb of Christ to anoint his body with myrrh, so they were the first to discover that he had risen. The gospel reading tells this story, and there are hymns that go along with it. Remember I said last week, liturgy doesn't have nearly as much changeable music as matins. So you'll hear just one hymn on Sunday that mentions the myrrh-bearing women during liturgy, and this is it. The angel standing at the sepulchre cried out and said to the ointment-bearing women, the ointments are appropriate for mortal men, but Christ has been shown to be a stranger to decay. So go and cry aloud, the Lord has risen, and granted the world his great mercy. During matins, there will be a lot more hymns about the myrrh-bearers. Some of them will only be sung this Sunday. Some of them will be sung every week during the Paschal period, and others, like the Evlogietaria, are sung almost every Sunday because we're always celebrating the resurrection. I'm going to share with you one of my favorites that we sing on the night of Pascha and continue to sing during the Paschal period. This hymn slows down in the middle to really accentuate what the angel said to the women. Why do you seek the living among the dead? The myrrh-bearing women at dawn very early, standing outside the tomb of the giver of life, found an angel who was seated upon the stone, and the angel addressed them, and this is what he said. Why do you seek among the dead the one who is alive? Why do you grieve as though corruptible the incorrupt? So go back and proclaim it to his disciples. So those myrrh-bearing women were the first evangelists, the first ones telling the good news that Christ had risen. And that's what we are remembering and celebrating this Sunday. Tune into our church's live stream for Matins on Sunday and see if you can count how many times you hear about the Myrrhbearers. Thanks for watching today. If there are specific things that you'd like to learn, please send me questions. I'd love to hear your feedback.